Okay, guys, so this one is the last section that you guys need to know before our test on quadrilaterals and before our final. So, classifying quadrilaterals on the plane. So, let's say you guys are given 4 points, right? A is 4,7, B is at 9,7, and C is at 6,3, and then finally D is at 1,3. Okay, so the first thing that you guys need to do is you need to draw your coordinate plane. Um, and since you're gonna be taking notes from this video, make sure you pause if you need to pause, like, you know, then go back and see it again. So pretty much all of them they work in the same way. You need to find slopes, you need to find distances, and then you have to make a decision. All right, so the first thing is plotting the points. So I know A is at 4, 7, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's A. Now B is at 9, 7, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So here's B. Okay, C is at 6, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so there's your C, and then D is at 1, 3. Okay, so there's D. So when you look at this, okay, you're gonna connect the dots. Okay, so make sure you're using the ruler, make it nice and neat. And so you're gonna connect the dots. Okay. Just like that. And just by looking at it, you might be thinking, oh, okay, well, this shape is a parallelogram, right? Well, it might be, but it could also be a rhombus, and we have to prove which one it is, okay? So the first thing that we need to do is we need to find, so number one, we're gonna find slopes, okay? All right, so if you find the slope of AB, so AB, your slope of AB is going to be 0 because you don't go anything up, but you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 0 over 5, 0 over 5, which is just 0. Okay, so now the slope of DC is going to be the same thing because you don't go anything up, so the rise is 0 and the run is 5, so you got 0 over 5, so you just get 0. Okay, now the slope of DA, okay, so you always start on the leftmost point, and in this case is D, so you're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, so the rise is 4 and the run is 1, 2, and 3. So the slope is 4 over 3. Now let's look at the slope of CB. So you go up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2, and 3. So the slope is 4 over 3. Well, what does this tell you? Well, it tells you that AB is parallel to DC because they have the same slope, and that DA is parallel to CB again because they have the same slope. Okay, so we can go ahead and mark that as parallel to one another. Well, that one, still we really don't know what it is, right? So another thing that we can do is we can find the length of each side. And as you know, in a rhombus, all the sides must be equal, right? So we need to apply either the Pythagorean theorem or the distance formula. So I'm just going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to find, number 2 is find length of each side. Okay, so if you look at this one, well, DC is kind of easy, right? Because all you have to do is count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that one's 5. Now AB is also going to be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, right? So now we need to find the length of DA, right? And so in order to do that, we can use the Pythagorean theorem. What you have to do is make a right triangle, and you know you go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one is 3. And then all you have to use is use the Pythagorean theorem. So to find dA, you do 4 squared plus 3 squared is equal to dA squared. Now 4 squared is 16. 3 squared is 9, and that is equal to dA squared. Now 16 plus 9 is 25. So that means dA, you take the square root of that side, and dA is going to be equal to 5. So dA is also 5. So that means that side is congruent, this side is congruent, and also this one is congruent to those two. Well, if you notice on this side, you can make another right triangle, and this one is 4 and that one is 3. So since it's the same thing, you also know that the length of BC is going to be 5. Okay, so that means all the sides are congruent. Okay, so based on that, you know that since all the sides are congruent, it looks like a rhombus is going to be a rhombus. Now, another thing that you can do is you can look at the diagonals. Okay, so you draw your diagonals in here, and if they make a right angle, you know for sure it's going to be. And in fact, they actually make a right angle. You can prove that by finding the slope. So all you have to do is say that quadrilateral ABCD is a rhombus. It's a rhombus because 4 sides are the same length. Okay, so that's pretty much all you have to do for all of them. Okay, so yeah, and you have forces that are the same length, and you can also say that diagonals are perpendicular. Okay. And if you want to go more in depth, you can just say that diagonals bisect each other. Okay, and that is a rhombus. Okay, so we already classified that one. Okay, let's look at a different one. Let's see. Let's look at this one. All right, so let's say you're given these points. A is at -2, -3. Okay, so I guess it's example 2. B is at 0,4. C is at 6,4. And D is at 4,-3. Okay, so let's plot this again. So this one, there it is, the y-axis. Here's your x-axis. So -2, -3. You go -2 and then down 3. So that is your A. B is at 0,4. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's B. And then C is at 6,4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's C. And then D is at 4, -3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, and 3. So there it is. So here is your quadrilateral. Now we need to see what exactly it is. So same as the other one, it looks like a parallelogram, but it might also be a rhombus, right? So what we need to do is, first, let's find the slopes. So the slope of BC is going to be again 0 because you don't go anything up. So it's 0 over your run, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 0 over 6 is 0. Same thing for AD. The slope is 0. So that means since the slopes are the same, we know that BC is parallel to AD. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and mark that. Okay, so that means this might be a parallelogram because those two sides are congruent, so we just need to check for those two. So the slope of AB, okay, so again we go rise over run, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 2. So the slope is 7 over 2. Now let's look at BC. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 2. So the slope is 7. These two are the same. So that means that AB is parallel to DC. So those two are going to be parallel to each other. Okay, so now we know it might be a parallelogram. So now what we need to do is find the length. Okay, so the length of BC is just going to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just count on that one. That one's easy. Same thing for AD. That is also going to be 6. Okay, so now we need to find the length of AB. So we're going to use the slope in the Pythagorean theorem. So if you make your right triangle here, that one's 7 and that one's 2. So you know AB is going to be equal to 7 squared plus 2 squared equal to AB squared. So 7 squared is 49. Okay, 49 plus 4, that's going to give you 53, is equal to AB. And then squared, so now we take the square root. So now we know AB is equal to square root of 53. Okay, now DC, you do the same thing. You go up 7 over 2, so you're going to get the same thing, which is the square root of 53. So that one is 6, that one is 6, this one is the square root of 53, and this one right here is the square root of 53. So since these two sides are congruent, and these two sides are congruent, we say that it is a parallelogram. So ABCD is a parallelogram because opposite sides are parallel to each other and they're also congruent. Okay, so this one is a parallelogram. Okay, so that's pretty much all you have to do. So let's just do one more. Let's look at a different one. What could it be? All right, let's look at this one. All right. Okay. All right, so the next one, example number 3, is this. So you have W is at negative 2, 5. X is at 1,8. Y is at 4,5. And Z is at 1,2. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our coordinate plane. Oops, make sure you stay in the line. Okay, so the first one is negative 2, 5. Negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here is W. Okay, the next one is, okay, I need to extend my graph a little bit. Okay, the next one is 1, 8. So that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is X. The next one is 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one is 1, 2, which is Z. So let's go ahead and connect this. So we are going to determine what this is. Okay. Make sure you're using the ruler. All right, so first let's go ahead and find the slopes. Okay, so the slope of, let's do xy first. Okay, so you go, start on the leftmost, so you go down 1, 2, 3, and then over 1, 2, and 3. So that one is negative 3 over 3, which is just negative 1. Okay, now let's find xw. So you go down 1, 2, okay, you're actually going to start on the leftmost, so you go up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that is positive 3 over 3. Okay? All right. Now, if you look at these two, the slopes are opposite and reciprocal. Okay? So that tells you that this one is a right angle. Okay? So let's see if it is true for another one. So let's find the slope for WZ. So you go down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that is negative 3 over 3, which is 1. So that means this one right here is also a right angle. Okay? And then if you keep doing it, you're going to notice that every side is going to be a right angle. Okay? So now, using the Pythagorean theorem, you're going to find the length of all of them. So let's find the length of xy. So you make a right triangle. Okay, that one is 3 and 3. So you're going to do 3 square plus 3 square is equal to xy square. So 3 square plus 3 square. So that's 9 plus 9. That is the square root of 18 is equal to xy. Okay, if you simplify that, this becomes the square root of 9 times the square root of 2, which is equal to xy. So that is 3 root 2 is equal to xy. Since all the sides have the same slope, they are going to have exactly the same length as well. Okay, so it's 3 root 2, 3 root 2, 3 root 2, 3 root 2. Okay, so that means WXYZ is a square. It's a square because all sides are congruent. Okay? All sides are congruent and it has 4 right angles. Okay? All right. So, since I'm not here today, your job is to complete the worksheet. Complete worksheet. Okay. Then you're going to go to IXL. Okay. IXL. Okay. The sub has your username and password in case you need it. Username and password. Okay. And from the book, from the book, you are going to continue on the last. Going to continue on the last. So your homework is going to be page 221, and you're gonna do number 6. Okay, you're gonna do number 7. You're also gonna do number 8, and that's it. Okay, so I will be checking this next class. Okay, all right. If you have questions, save them for Friday when I get